I'm a free speech absolutist. You should be able to say what you want. Let people talk it out. I want to hear what you have to say. Racism, let it come out. You'll be labeled and people will judge you accordingly. If America and our whole system is built on pedophilia and protecting pedophilia because they're blackmailed by either foreign governments in cahoots with our government, there's a saying, let justice be done though the heavens fall. I don't care. Let it burn to the ground and we'll deal with the aftermath.
When it's all said and done, what does Vincent Oshana want to be remembered for?
I felt something push me and I looked, nobody's touching me. That was the Holy Spirit saying, go. This is the time, right now. And since that day, bro, I want my legacy to be.
Today, I'm sitting down with Vincent Oshana, stand-up comic, military vet, actor, and host on the PBD podcast. You've seen him make you laugh, but today, you're going to see the man behind the mic. From addiction and trauma to faith, politics, and cancel culture. This is Vincent like you've never seen him before. And I want to welcome back to the show, Vincent Oshana. Welcome to the show, Vincent, once again.
What's up, Matthew? Thank you so much for having me. It's been, when's the last time that we did this? I even asked before the podcast, I'm like, did they try to shoot Trump? Yeah. And what'd you say? This was Biden was still the president.
Biden was still the president when Danny and I came down to Florida. It's been a while, man, since we met you.
Oh my goodness, bro. Oh my goodness. And I love how that's my time frame of, did we talk before assassination attempt or after assassination attempt? But okay.
Yeah.
So a lot has happened, to say the least, since the last time that we sat down, but congratulations. You know, your family's getting bigger. And I just want to say thank you, Matthew, for the bottom of my heart, for, you know, putting me on the podcast again. I appreciate you.
We've never forgotten the hospitality you showed us when you were there. I think one of your guys there, he had got into a car accident and you filled in his position. We were recording with you, Tom, Adam, and we never forgot your hospitality. And even at that point, you didn't know we were Assyrian because I never used it as a way to get in. I just wanted to use our credibility, our name, and we never forgot your hospitality. And we never forgot about the juice, that energy drink you gave us. The black cherry was my favorite.
How amazing was that stuff? It was great.
I want to jump right into it. I know your time is limited, and I want to ask you a very, very simple question. What's one thing you've said publicly that nearly got you canceled, but you still stand by it today?
Something that I've said publicly that's almost got me canceled. When I was in Los Angeles I'll give you two parts of this. While I was in Los Angeles, when cancel culture was at its peak, I was on stage. I don't want to say the comedy room's name, but I'm doing jokes. I said something about Trump, but it was something, you know, being funny, and it was something that wasn't just bashing and doing what all the hacky comedians were saying, where it was just, you know, the punchline was and Trump and laughing. So I said something. The set was amazing, Matthew. I got off stage, and immediately the comedy club owner comes up to me and goes, "Hey, like, you know, you can't do that." And I was like, "I can't do what?" I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "You can't, you know, put Trump in a positive light." I go, "Did you hear the audience?" And I almost got a standing ovation. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, yeah, you can't. No, it's like basically telling me like that's the last time if you want to perform in this club, you can't ever talk about this guy in a positive light. And mind you, I was just making fun and just a comedy show. So right then and there, I was just like, wow, I almost got, you know, for me to perform in this place, I could never talk about Trump ever again. But ask me if it stopped me.
We are going to ask you about that.
No.
We are going to get into the comedy side of it.
Vincent, you've said in the past that comedy has saved your life. What did it save you from?
Oh, great question. Comedy saved my life. Well, on top of comedy and making people laugh, I lost two friends before I moved to Florida. And it was just, this is how, you ready for this? So I find Patrick, I think we talked about this, Matthew, on my Instagram. I find Patrick The rest is history. But me, even though I was living through a crazy life and LA it was just, it was hell. It was hell. And, sometimes when you want something really, really bad, but your soul, your foundation isn't there, guys, God gives it to you. You ask enough, God goes, okay, you want it, you're asking for it, here. And I wasn't prepared for it. I wasn't ready. But the one thing I was doing, my YouTube channel had less than, I think, 2,000, 3,000. I kept uploading just small, not really funny videos, but just my content that I was just like, everybody's saying no work, no editing, no, just putting it out there. And when I finally reached out to Patrick, Patrick was laying in bed with his wife, Jen, watching those videos, guys, watching those videos. And Patrick found me hilarious. He goes, there's something about this kid. And Patrick, mind you, I'm not a kid, but Patrick's like, there's something about him. And Pat, guys, I'm telling you right now, he has an eye for talent. He has an eye for people that are going to do big things. He said it about Charlie Kirk, God rest his soul. He said he's batting over 900 for this. So because of that, because of my comedy and putting it on there, that literally saved my life, because it got me out of Los Angeles when I was losing friends literally left and right. And mind you, they were just at a party, and they did, I'm not praising their actions. They did a bump of cocaine, both of them, and literally died right there with one of their girlfriends as well. And yeah, comedy, I think, saved my life in that sense.
That's harsh. I'm so sorry that you had to go through that and you experienced your friends die like that. That's really, really sad. I don't even know. I'm at a loss for words. Truly hearing that for the first time. Just shifting a little bit into the comedy section, because we're going somewhere with this, and it has to do with free speech and censorship and all that. What's something that comedians say behind closed doors that they never say on stage in 2025?
Wow. Something that comedians, well, let me explain something. If they're the big time, major, mainstream comedians, bro, there's certain topics that they can't touch, especially back when all the cancel culture and all that stuff was happening. It's whatever, and remember, it was when Biden was in, bro, think about it. The Biden regime, and again, I'm going to say this because we all know a lot of people, Jake Tapper, they could all write these books saying, nobody, oh my God, they were covering up. Everybody knew he wasn't there. Everybody knew people that were behind him were actually making the decisions. The auto pen, the people, the Chuck Schumers, the Nancy Pelosi's. We all know that he was just the body was there, but the decisions were being made, bro. During that era, you know what I mean? Like, you said the wrong thing, or you talked about trans, or you talked about, illegals, or whatever you talked about, bro. They were on top of you, bro, and they would cancel your ass. If you were making jokes, if you were even bringing up, Hunter Biden and what he was doing and everything, bro, whoever's in charge, this is a very, very thin line that we all, that we're all skating on. Whoever is in as the president, bro, your free speech, all that stuff is on the front line. Meaning, if, like, for instance, this administration, you could say whatever you want. You could literally say whatever you want. And I hate when people are trying to bring up the Jimmy Kimmel situation. Jimmy Kimmel is hemorrhaging money still right now, today, hemorrhaging money. His viewership is at an all-time low. Sponsorships are losing money. And let's be real, Matthew, he's not funny. There's not one time I've ever seen a clip where I went, oh my God, my stomach hurts because he's funny. He's making me laugh. No. Think about this. Why isn't he getting canceled? Why can't he just go up there and just, by the way, the Charlie Kirk thing, what free speech? Say whatever you want, okay? Blaming MAGA, saying that MAGA were trying to cover up, that's just, and saying that he was the shooter, Tyler Robinson was a MAGA shooter, that's just a blatant lie, and I think people should call it out. The reason he's getting canceled, bro, or he was canceled or suspended, you're not funny, they're losing numbers, they're losing hemorrhaging money, and people are calling in complaining about you. So they bring him back, okay? He gets 6 million views, 6.4 million views. Guess what? It just dropped 3.6 million views. People are done and people are tired. So what we used to say behind, behind the screen, behind the stage, the curtains, whatever you want to call it, was, man, we wish we could call this out. We wish we could talk about this, just because, bro, it's comedy. Because at the end of the day, guys, there's so much happening. Like, even me, I have to remind myself, Vinny, you're a comedian. Like, people need to laugh, okay? When I bring in those moments where I could take away, because, bro, people the other day were like, why aren't you watching football? Why aren't you watching NFL? I go, it's a waste. But then I realized, I'm like, maybe that's their escape from everything that's happening. Because, Matthew, if you watch, just turn on the news right now. Go to CNN, go to Fox, read the main headlines. Shooting in churches, shooting children in the back, war in Gaza, people burning each other alive on trains. It's like, it's not illegal. ICE agents, Portland, firebombing. It's like, bro, people need a release. And I think when it comes to comedy, bro, comedy should be left alone. Because sometimes we say outlandish stuff just to try. We're trying. We're testing to try to make people laugh. So a lot of the stuff behind the curtains we wish you could say, we could actually say right now. Because this administration isn't trying to go after you and literally cancel your career. If you think about it, Matthew, people don't realize the cancel culture, you are ruining people's livelihoods, bro. Livelihoods. Look at what YouTube and Google, now they're finally like, hey, all the content creators that we canceled during COVID, now you guys can all come back. Okay, thank you. But what about all the money people lost? What about all the lives that you guys freaking destroyed? People that lost, think about it. If you were paying your mortgage and all of a sudden you lose your YouTube because you said, hey, maybe this vaccine is XYZ, or maybe it came from China. Then you cancel these people and they have freaking families. Nah, bro, that's why I'm so happy that with the Trump administration, you could say what you want and comedy was back. Remember when, who was it? Tony Hinchcliffe. Coming back, starting to say stuff. Yeah, it was insensitive. Yeah, he said some stupid stuff. But guys, it's comedy, and not all of them hit. So that's my answer.
I agree, and that was a great answer. Thank you. You touched on the Jimmy Kimmel subject. We were going to get into that, but I think he nailed it on the head. Mary, you wanted to ask him something?
Yeah, just playing off of that, because you were talking about like cancel culture and, being a comedian and chasing this dream. Like if you're going back now and you're chasing this dream of wanting to be a comedian, was there ever a point when you were thinking to yourself, I've hit like this rock bottom moment and I want to give up? Maybe it was a situation that happened in this cancel culture part, or was it a previous time that you were just always thinking to yourself, I've had enough, I can't do this, I've hit the rock bottom, and I don't want to continue this anymore?
Great question. I think for me, Mary, the rock bottom was in Los Angeles, and I literally felt like, Mary, I've always, Assyrians, we were born in the Christian faith, okay? And Christians on paper, I call it, meaning we'd wake up, we'd go to church, we'd do the communion, we'd do all of our stuff, we'd go home, and back that whole week, you were just back to business as usual, sinning left and right, sleeping with girls, drinking, partying, lusting, everything. So it got to the point where, I wasn't going to church. I was earlier on when I went to Los Angeles, but then I was just lost, Mary. You want to talk about rock bottom? Besides the friends, the friends passing away, I was just like, man, like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing? Because especially when COVID hit, Mary, COVID hit, and it was like comedians have to be in rooms filled with people. That's how we connect. Once COVID hit, and don't even, get me started with, I still believe, this is Vincent Oshana's opinion. This is my opinion. All of it was planned, okay? You want to talk about, if there's meetings, you want to talk about deep state in China, China's being held accountable right now with the trade war. That's why I was very, very nervous when Trump did it again. But back then, think about this. The deep state, all these disgusting human beings were doing anything to get Trump out. They tried Russia collusion. They tried impeachment. They tried everything. They were like, wait a minute, guys. He's going to win again, okay? And you know what? These people love China. When you see Gavin Newsom, when Xi Jinping a couple of years ago went to San Francisco, do you guys remember, Matthew? They rolled out the red carpet.
Yeah.
They kicked homeless people out. Remember, they're like, all the homeless, they disappeared, bro. And he lined the streets with Chinese flags. Not American, not one American flag. All Chinese flags. And you're like, wow, that Xi Jinping is getting royal treatment. So almost it's like, wait a minute. China they have a lab that we own. It was opened under Obama. Fauci's with us. He's been around for, I don't know, 7 different presidents or maybe even more. You know what? Why don't, how do you stop the trade war, get this guy out? Let me think. Hey, guys, why don't we just release this virus? Guys, we've been already practicing it. We've already been planning it. They've all been warning it. Bill Gates, all these guys. Guys, just do it. We'll make trillions of dollars with the vaccines and masks. Pull the trigger, okay? So that's my whole view on China, how they destroyed everything. And as comedians, it ruined us, guys. It absolutely ruined us. I would do comedy shows like this. I'd be like this on a Zoom with a room of people that had, 30, 40, 100 people, and I'll never forget that. I'll never forget what they did to us, because that rock bottom, Mary, happened in that moment. I'm like, what am I doing? We're never going to come back. If you weren't an extremely famous comedian and you had money saved up, you were in bad shape. And I was in there, and that spiral, that whirlwind just started happening. And then, I think by the grace of God, like I said, Pat, I found Pat. I started praying in that era, in that 2-month window before I got here. I was praying, still not going to church, but I was having these conversations with God where I was just literally emotional by myself on my hands and knees in my studio apartment. I don't even want to say bedroom, because the bedroom was the living room. So I'm sitting there asking and begging, and he finally listened, and then he gave me the opportunity where I think he said, here, this is it. This moment, Matthew, Mary, the one that I'm in right now, I'm all in, meaning I got baptized again. And Matthew, an Assyrian, even my mom, she's like, Vinny, you already were when you were a kid. But I go, this is my decision. This is me wanting to actually show my faith to God and let him know. Because now, once you're all in, once I'm speaking the way that I'm speaking, guys, you can't turn back. You'll be the biggest hypocrite in your life. So I think that has put me to the front. Mind you, still sin. I love when people are like, oh, but you're a Christian. I still sin. I still make mistakes. I still cuss by accident. It slips out, but I'm a work in progress and I'm trying. So yeah, that was my rock bottom was COVID, with the material, with not talking about this, with censorship. Whatever I posted, I'd get a freaking strike. So that was the lowest part.
I love all that. And we've got so much to unpack still. And we know that these interviews, I can share stories with you offline when we're recording podcasts, Danny and I, and how much of an impact it has on people and people starting to go to church and all that stuff. So I want to really get to the even deeper with you right now, specifically when it comes to like any trauma and the addiction in the past. And I want to ask you, because a lot of people talk about how they've overcome their addiction. And I know your story. We covered it in the first episode. But what I want to ask you is, you've been always open about your addiction and any trauma that came with that. But what did the recovery process like really look like for you? What did it look like for you leading to that?
Great question. So once I realized, I'm like, man, I'm just, I wasn't drinking every day, but when I drank, it was like Thursday night going hard, Friday night going hard, Saturday, Sunday. And think about, bro, when you're an alcoholic, like when you drink a lot, and it's just in my family, that whole, addictive personality, you want to call it, if it's in your blood, bro, it's in your blood. You just, the Sunday comes and like this, look at the mentality of an alcoholic. You know what? Let me have one, because, they call it hair of the dog. You're supposed to drink to feel better about being drunk. Think about the mentality, okay? Think about that mentality. And I tell people all the time, I go, when it comes to alcohol, I think that's one of the worst drugs, period, brother. That's the silent freaking killer. Because Matthew and Mary, if we all went to go eat right now and we ate a lot, we would say, oh my God, I'm so full, I can't move. I'm full, okay? When you drink too much alcohol, what do they say? You're poison. It's alcohol poisoning, okay? And I'm going to be completely honest, bro. Everybody has a different journey. I saw myself, I was giving myself a haircut, and I saw my back in a mirror, and I saw black and blue, like as if I was punched in the back, and I went, what the hell? And I looked it up, and I called the doctor, and like, oh, like your body's failing. Your liver's failing. And I'm like, oh, okay. And that, bro, that was a wake-up call. And then two people here at Valuetainment who are like 8 years sober. One other guy that left was 15 years sober. They go, hey, come to AA with us. You should just come to AA. And guys, and again, everybody's different. I'm totally different. Meaning, I walked in, guys, the door opened, and I walked into this AA meeting, and I swear to you, I'm just looking around, and I saw these people, and I heard this story. It took one AA meeting, and I'll show you guys on my phone. I have the I Am Sober app. I'm over 2.5 years sober. It was just a decision, guys. And I know I tell people this all the time. It's you. Everything comes down to you. You have to make a decision for yourself. What type of person do you want to be? I knew that this thing hindered me. It held me back. Emotional roller coaster. Then and then going back to stand-up, bro, I would drink to go on stage. I'd have 2 or 3. I do very, very well. And then I'd be like, okay, this next time I have to do 2 or 3 again. And then when I bombed, Matthew, I'd be like, oh man, did I not drink enough? Think about the mentality. Like, so I would drink 4 or 5, and then I wouldn't do well. I'm like, maybe one more. Then I'd be pissed drunk, and then I do well. It's such a vicious cycle that you live in. But then the next one was, bro, literally God. When people say, the bracelets, remember that what would Jesus do era? I started telling people, picture, if you're a real Christian, if you're a true Christian believer, whatever you're doing, whatever decision you're making, picture Jesus Christ standing right next to you. Like literally, how is he looking at you? Are you behaving the same way? Are you gonna say what you said? Are you gonna drink what you did? Are you gonna say to that girl or have those disgusting thoughts? And again, Matthew, I'm gonna reiterate this. I am far from perfect. I sin every single day. Okay, every single day. I'm trying to walk in the path, and it's very, very, very difficult. But I'm trying. I'm truly, truly trying. But the attitude of without having God and having this conversation, bro. The relationship with God has to be real, bro. It can't be one of those, our Father who art in heaven, I pray, and I move on. You got to talk to him, and you have to have a conversation, a real relationship.
That's awesome, brother. That's awesome. And congratulations on the length of time that you've been sober. I love that.
Thank you.
I want to commend you for that, because you said 2.5 years of being sober. That to me is amazing, because especially being in that industry that you are in, it's so around you, constantly around you all the time, I'm sure. So I truly do commend you for that. But I'm curious, do you think that the addiction was something deeper, was a symptom of something deeper, or shame, or a feeling of being like not seen, or just, just something deeper? Do you feel that?
I think it could have been multiple things, because, like I said, everybody in my family drank. My father drank, his father drank. On my mom's side, her father drank. My uncles, one of my uncles was a really bad drinker. Literally all of us. And I think, because we all deal with, with the trauma. Like, by the way, I lost my father when I was 19 years old, 18, turning 19. And, I tell people all the time, I didn't even react. Like, my reaction was such a weird moment, because everybody's crying. Everybody's losing their mind. My mom took it obviously the worst, because she was with him her entire life. And then I was just numb in that moment. I think my brain turned into, well, Vinny, everybody's losing it. You can't lose it. And then everybody's going to be going down with the ship. You have to freaking, stand strong. And I think, just that type of moment, which, I was 18, 19. I was in the military, so I was drinking. But then just to numb everything, Mary, I think drinking just numbed everything. You didn't have to deal with everything. It made me have a good time. I was the life of the party. But then the depression of the next day, the depression of the 2 days after. But then, like a true person that drank, once it started feeling like crap, boom, the weekend's here again. Friday, I would have a drink. Saturday, I'd be on stage drinking. It was like, people don't realize you're in Hollywood, California. I'd be on stage, Mary, and people would be bringing me shots. And there's only so many times you could be like, now I'd be totally fine. Like, there's no temptation that could get me at all. I had some girl gave me a chocolate, and I'm like, whoa, she's like, oh yeah, oh my God, there's sherry in it. Sherry, brandy, whatever. And I was like, no, but like in that moment, you're not turning that down. You're on stage. You turn it down, you're going to hear, oh, you know what, the P word, all that stuff. So I just think it's all the stuff, of being, having the alcoholism in my family, but then at the same token, just trying to numb everything, numb all the sadness, any pain, any rejection, any not getting roles, any, being bitter, about my career not going where it was supposed to be, being in Hollywood. But at the same token, it's like, I got to take, blame for a lot of this, especially if I was drinking and I wasn't memorizing lines and not going to auditions. So a lot of it still goes, on me. So, yeah.
Accountability is huge. And thanks for sharing that about your dad as well.
Big time.
And we really appreciate that. Just shifting a little bit to the politics side of things. So as one of the hosts on PBD podcast, you're surrounded by so many big names, obviously Patrick and other guests and things like that. Is there any kind of political view that you have that even shocks them? Like it's like so extreme?
A political view that shocks them. I don't think anything shocked. Well, Adam is shocked all the time because and I have to put this disclaimer. I absolutely love Adam. His soul he's an awesome guy. He cares, and I get it. He was all the way on the other side, voted for Hillary, voted for Biden, but he's evolved as a person so much. But for me, when it comes to just one example is this entire Epstein debacle that we've been seeing unfold. I don't even know if you want to say unfolding, but I think that there's something, very, very evil when it comes down to Epstein from when he was in Florida getting in trouble for all the sex trafficking with Ghislaine Maxwell and her father's connections with Mossad, CIA, whatever that you want to say. I think there is a cover up happening as we speak when it comes to Epstein, because let's just be honest with each other. Everybody always wants to talk about facts, Matthew, and I get it. You have to have proof before you do anything. But these people at these levels, they put so many layers in between them and actually getting held accountable. You mean to tell me, I forgot who it was recently. Was it Cash Patel? One of these people that was like, I think it was Cash Patel. Oh, Epstein was just trafficking these girls to himself. Really? Really? And you want us to believe it? You want me? You're going to release. Oh, by the way, if you don't mind, Matthew, I'm going to go a little bit further back. You're going to say they're going to release the Epstein files, and you're going to have all these content creators stand in the White House and hold this folder that's absolute garbage. It was absolute nonsense. Then you're going to have all Cash Patel, Pam Bondi sitting in a restaurant telling a female, she doesn't know she's recorded. She's like, we're going through tens of thousands of hours of Epstein and all these young girls. And then she's like, no, they keep backtracking. They keep going backwards. And then, like I said, Cash Patel is trying to say he was only trafficking to himself. And then you have the audacity to release a video of the jail cell, which isn't even the jail cell. And then you edit time out of it as if we're stupid and we're not going to catch you. It's 2025. This isn't 1963 with the Zapruder film with JFK. Do you guys really think we're that stupid? So I wouldn't say it's that much of a shock to them, Matthew, but it's the realization of what we're dealing with. And I've been telling people this, guys. In the Bible, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, for we wrestle not with flesh and blood. Once you realize this, guys, and I really want people to please, I know I'm talking loud, but I get so passionate about this. Really put this in your mind in the context. When you're fighting in the UFC, Matthew, if I'm going to fight you, okay, what do I have to do? I have to look over tape. I have to find out your disciplines. Is he a boxer? Is he a grappler? Is he jiu-jitsu? What form of fighting is he? Because you have to know your opponent and what you're getting into. When it comes to what's happening with Epstein and all this crap, you have to understand it's not human beings. It's not, when I say flesh and blood, people think, and that's why there's a misconception like, guys, you guys are talking crazy. It's a conspiracy. They wouldn't do it. Yes, they would. Read the Bible. All right. We don't wrestle with flesh and blood. It's principalities. It's evil. It's darkness. It's spiritual in high places. And this is what they're talking about, Matthew. And people always say, well, Vinny, if what you're saying is true, then huge elites, the biggest of the biggest, Prince Andrew being one of them, but who else knows who else? I have some type of ideas. They're the backing. They're the money of this place. And if they find out it's them, the whole system falls. And you know what I say? Good. Because if we're built on that, if America and our whole system is built on pedophilia and protecting pedophilia because they're blackmailed by either foreign governments in cahoots with our government, there's a saying, let justice be done though the heavens fall. I don't care. Let it burn to the ground and we'll deal with the aftermath. So that to me is one of the main ones. It's going to go down as one of the biggest ones. The president just released, he's going to declassify Amelia Earhart's file. I don't give a damn about that. 90 years ago, I don't care. This is the pressing stuff, is the Epstein stuff. It's the Charlie Kirk stuff. 2 weeks after Charlie's been murdered, and they're talking about what's going to happen with Turning Point, and his wife is in front of the camera. That's all nonsense. Give me the truth. I want to know the truth. And they know the truth. And the truth is out there. And they're so blatantly obvious of what they're doing. It actually disgusts me. It's going to go down to under the Trump administration, this is going to be one of the worst scandals out of everything. Even worse than Russia collusion. I truly believe that because of the cover-up that they're trying to push on us. It's absolutely ridiculous.
So, Vince, I'm curious then, because you were such a pro-Trump supporter. Has your mindset shifted on him now? Because at one point he was claiming that the Epstein list didn't even exist. So, which I believe it does exist, but has your mindset now shifted on him?
100%. I still think he is I'm not even joking, guys. Besides Washington and Lincoln, he's going to go down as one of the greatest presidents in the history of the country. If you just break down what they tried to do with Russia, impeachment, all the Russia stuff is coming out now. Comey's been indicted to shoot. By the way, they tried to shoot his head off live. Like what happened with Charlie, God rest his soul. They tried doing that to Trump because that's how evil works, guys. Don't get it twisted. They want to make a public spectacle, Mary. So that people see that and go, oh my God, that's them saying with no words, if any of you try to talk or be stupid, that's what's going to happen to you. That's a warning, huge warning sign. So God spared him. But at the same token, when it comes to stuff like this, Mary, I am not a fan because from what we just heard, there's been a couple of documents released. I think somebody actually stated it that, where was it? That Trump, just recently, a DOJ guy on James O'Keefe's Project Veritas, one of my favorites. Shout out to James. He does amazing investigations, all that work on all these people undercover. It doesn't get, mainstream media spotlight, but this guy was saying Trump was on these planes, never with any children, never went to the island, never did anything with kids, which thank God, because I never thought for him to be that guy. But to answer your question, Mary, this has put a big stain in the credibility, meaning because what it seems to me, my opinion, is that he's protecting people that he knows that are on there that could be potential donors, could be potential, I don't know, maybe they have footage of his friends doing something nefarious with underage people, and that's why. Give me another explanation to why. Because if you're going to say, mind you, it wasn't a campaign promise, guys. Trump didn't run on releasing the Epstein files, Matthew, Mary. He said aftermath, they asked him, he's like, yeah, I could see. He was like, and then he said, well, I just don't want it to hurt certain people that are involved that didn't do anything. Okay? So yeah, that really, really bothered me. And again, he's not going to bat 1,000, not with me. I'll hold his foot to the fire. And I'm not a fan of how they handle it at all.
Yeah, I love that because the left is never going to hold their side accountable for anything. So I love that. So Vince, I want to ask you, what's more dangerous in 2025? Censorship or blind free speech? And I say that, and the first thought that comes to my mind is the PBD interview with Nick Fuentes. So specifically Nick Fuentes, right? He's on the far right. So what do you think is more dangerous in 2025? Censorship or blind free speech?
What's more dangerous? I think censorship, Matthew, because you know what I want? I want to hear what people actually have to say. Because when the grass is cut, the snakes will show. No matter I don't care how tall the grass is, bro, you cut it and all of a sudden you start seeing them. I'm anti-censorship, brother. Don't get me wrong. I'm a free speech absolutist. You should be able to say what you want. Because Matthew, it'll have other people. Let them debate. Let people talk it out. I want to hear what you have to say. Racism, let it come out. You'll be labeled and people will judge you accordingly. Okay? Because I want to hear what you have to say. If there's a caveat, free speech, if you're inciting violence, if you're calling to action for somebody to get hurt or for somebody to go kill somebody, Matthew, that's where the law gets involved. Free speech, say whatever the hell you want. Okay, I'm not for censorship at all. That's why, like, especially with like TikTok right now, Larry Ellison apparently is purchasing it. I saw BB commenting how there's a war and that's a weapon. I am anti all of that. Period. A government owning a freaking social media? No. I'm not for that at all. I want people to say what they have to say. I want debate and good dialogue to go back and forth. I think, and a lot of people, Andrew, are like, Matthew, they're like, wow, dare he give him the platform? How dare you? Oh, really? Did you listen to what he was saying and what made Nick Fuentes who Nick Fuentes is, what pissed him off and what got him to this point? I think more conversation, more debate is better, Matthew. So I think censorship is way more scary. I think it's way more scary. People controlling look what happened in the UK and all that stuff, bro. In the UK, I saw them go to somebody's house because she liked a Facebook post and the police showed up to her house. I mean, like, come on, brother. The UK is cooked, brother. They're finished. You can't say stuff. In Germany, a bunch of migrants sexually assaulted this 11-year-old girl in a park. They brought the guys to court. A lady went on WhatsApp and found one of the sexual assaulters, and she's like, how dare you? She didn't threaten him. She said a bunch of stuff. She was arrested, guys. She was arrested for messaging him and saying, shame on you for what you're doing. So back to my point, America is obviously still the greatest, and the First Amendment, brother, backed up by the Second. You know, we say what we want, but there's consequences to your free speech, and that's it.
So then I'm just curious, what are your thoughts about all of these churches being burned down and the Christian genocide that's taking place around the world because they're being silenced?
Mary. So today on the PBD podcast, I said that I was like, I hope people are paying attention. I go, because exactly what you just said, Mary. We are under attack. Okay, we are the most persecuted religion out of all of them. Okay, and it just goes silent, under the radar. You know what I mean? It took Bill Maher. It took a Jewish man, a Jewish guy, to get on his show on HBO with Nancy Mace and say, it's kind of funny. You know, everybody's always concerned about what Jewish people in the Gaza, and mind you, that's its own situation and its own problem, and I criticize them all the time, okay? But when it comes to Christians, where are all of you Christians at? Meaning the ones out there that are just worrying about the Jews and the Muslims, and 125,000 Nigerian Christians have been murdered, I think, since 2009. Where's everybody at? Where are you? If this was, by the way, if this was happening, Mary, to synagogues or Muslim mosques or Hindu temples, go ahead and imagine what would happen. If this was Muslim mosques, trust me, they would take it into their own hands and there'd be an all-out freaking revolution, be a war in this place. Synagogues as well. The government would be involved. But for some reason, when it comes to Christians, everybody's quiet. Everybody's quiet. And it's unbelievable. And God bless every single one of them, Mary. I got emotional this morning, guys, because I'm like, no matter, even though it's all happening, 94% of these Christian Catholics in Nigeria are still holding mass. They're still holding mass because of their faith. And they're not afraid. They're not afraid. Because Jesus Christ even said it. We're all going to be persecuted for following him. All of his disciples were either martyred, beheaded, crucified upside down, burned alive, stoned to death. It's written. We're going to be persecuted for it. I just wish, especially we're a Judeo-Christian nation, really. All right, where's the help? Where's our? I guess the UN said something about it's like on the radar. No. This is a freaking genocide. This is a massacre. And as a Christian nation, the fact that we're not getting involved and helping these poor people, I think it's embarrassing. And I think it's one of the most underlooked things that's happening right now. We can help everybody else, guys. Anybody else. Israel, you need help? We're helping you. We'll help bomb Iran. We'll go over here. We'll help no, what about the Christians? Okay? It's unbelievable. And that's one of the things that's really, really pisses me off. Big time.
Yeah, me too. Vince, I want to ask you something about legacy. When it's all said and done, what does Vincent Oshana want to be remembered for?
Great question. My legacy. I want people, when people talk about me, I want people to say, this guy, he was a pure spirit. He meant well. He loved people. He put, God first, because I believe, bro, I try to tell people all the time, and I've become almost like a disciple myself. Every single day, Matthew, every conversation I'm getting into, I'm telling you right now, God finds a way to be on my lips, and I'm telling people. And it's not like an insurance policy thing, meaning people are like, well, we're gonna die, might as well get on board with Christianity. No, brother, I've something has shifted in me in the past, I want to say 2 years. Matthew, did I tell you the story about me going to church? Did I ever tell you this one? Where I was at somebody at my job. He's not with us anymore. He's at a different company. He walked out to me one day and he goes, "We're going to church." And I was like, "Okay, did I tell you this story, Matthew, or not?" I don't want to repeat myself.
You told me about the guys at Valuetainment were praying for you, and they just see you go down the aisle. Was that the one?
Okay, that was the one. That day, and I'm not even being funny. That day when they did the altar call, I don't know what altar call is. There's not an Assyrian church here, so I was going to a non-denominational. And when the pastor said, if you're on the fence and you want to give yourself to Christ, come up here right now. We're gonna pray for you. I felt something push me, and I looked back because I actually was gonna be upset because I thought my friend Aaron was like pushing me without my own decision. Like, let it be my decision. And I look, nobody's touching me. Nobody. He's still back there. And I'm telling you, that was the Holy Spirit saying, go. This is the time right now. And since that day, bro, I want my legacy to be, obviously sinner, made a lot of mistakes in my life, but guess what? Made the wrongs into rights, was trying to bring as many people to positivity and light and love and let them know and share the good news of what the good news is about Christianity and Jesus Christ. Because, guys, at the end of the day, Matthew, it's undeniable he was here. Undeniable. Muslims, everybody wrote about it. One of the best books I've read was A Case for Christ by Lee Strobel, an atheist who was married to a Christian that was going to go out and interview all these theologians and all these scholars and prove that Jesus didn't exist. And he made a case for Christ. One quick example, Matthew, when Jesus died, Mary, on the cross, and, the earth shook, the temple split in two, the eclipse of the sun happened. People that weren't there witnessing that moment, okay, in a city over, wrote on papyrus paper, this day the sun turned black and the earth shook. So he's letting you know this happened. People weren't even witnessing the Jesus stuff. So everything in this book lines up. So I just want, I want people to know that, life is, it's this world, like I said, it's not flesh and blood. It's all evil. It's a lot of, obviously there's beauty in this life, in this earth, all this, but there's only one way. There's only one way to God, and it's through Jesus Christ. And just letting people know that, it's love. Like, what are the two things that God said? Love me with all your mind, heart, and soul, and love each other. It's so simple. It's so simple. I don't care, tall, short, black, white, gay. It's all love. That's all God's ever been about, brother, and it's love. And I want people to know that I love, and I try to give as much love and as much joy and to share that with people and to make people happy. And that's it, bro. And that's it. That's all I want people to know. When they talk about, do you guys remember Vincent Oshana? Yeah. Oh, my God. Besides funny, bro, like that guy, he had love That guy loved everybody. Adam actually one day, one day was like, Vinny, can I talk? Like, he's like, every time I see you, you're always shaking. He goes, you saw the same guy twice in the day, but when you see him, you act like, you know, you haven't seen him the whole day. And then we were in Vegas, bro. And you know what he said to me? Matthew, he looked at me while we were in Vegas, Adam, 2 weeks ago. And he goes, you know what, bro? I was questioning, but he's like, you actually do care. He's like, and you love everybody. He's like, man, I don't know how he had no idea. But that's where the love for my mother, Svetlana Oshana, is why I am the way that I am. Period.
Vince, if your 18-year-old self saw you now, what would they say?
Wow. Look at your hair. No, I'm joking. You know what? You know what he say? Wow, we did it. You know what I mean? Like the dream, it'd be a little bit of a different, the dream is shifted. I think it always happens with life. Like you think you're going to be this, and then that changes, and then that changes. I think my 18-year-old self would be like, wow, like, wait, what? First of all, my 18-year-old self would be like, what's a podcast? No, but I mean, I think 18-year-old Vinny would be, you know, because I was in the military at 18. I think, you know, he'd say, wow, so we're not in the military anymore. You're on a top 15 podcast in the world. You're still acting. You're still making people laugh, and you're this close to God and Christ. Like I'm so happy that we are where we are. I truly think it'd be shock, a little bit of shock, but definitely a lot of joy because and a lot of people say, guys, you made it. What's make it? Like, I'm happy. My family's is doing well. You know, they're all healthy. And I can't complain at all.
I love that.
And I'm just curious, what would you say, and if you could say one thing to all of the haters out there that wrote you off, what would it be?
To all the haters, oh wow. What would I say to all the haters? I told you so. No, but it's one of my favorite. You know, people say, I hate to say I told you so. No, I want to told you so. You know what's wild? Mary, I don't even think that I'd have any ill will, or I would actually, I really feel bad for people like that. Like, just the hate, because the word hate is in the haters. Why are you hating? What are you upset about? And by the way, I had a lot of resentment in me against certain people, like certain comedians, Mary, were stealing. Think about this. I would do shows. People would come, steal my material, go to other venues and steal it. But because they were on the rise and their family was in Hollywood, they were able to take it. I was so mad because I was on the road with the Wayans brothers, with Damon Wayans and Damon Wayans Jr. And I'd get a call from one of the friends that passed away in Boston. He's with all his friends watching TV going, Vinny, turn on Comedy Central. This dude who he knew is stealing your material live. And and I'd confront them, and I had all this resentment and all this hate, bro. But I would just tell all the haters, like, what does hating get you, bro? Just live your life and worry about yourself. Who cares about everybody else's success? And it's always those haters are the most miserable, unhappy people ever because they have that jealousy, they have that envy, and they have that hate in their hearts, and it doesn't do anything good for them. So I would tell them all, like, all that time that you were hating and everything, you should have been working on yourself and not worrying about me.
That's awesome. Yeah, this has been such a great interview. We have one final question before we say goodbye. And again, thank you so much for all of your time, all of your energy, your enthusiasm. You've been so generous with us. You always have been. And you know what? A lot of people from Canada, especially Suraye, especially Assyrians, they see it. And I always tell them, I go, I'm like one of your biggest cheerleaders, bro. I go, that guy
Thank you, Matthew.
treated us like we were family, and he knew us for all of our lives. So thank you. And I just want to ask you one last thing, and it's going to be the mic drop moment. So I want you to be yourself and feel comfortable. You've made people laugh. You've told your truth, and you've survived. What's one thing you haven't said that you're finally ready to say today?
Wow. What's one thing? That's a very good question. I don't think I've said pretty much everything. I mean, I've said a lot. I've said to where my mom goes, My mom sees these videos, Matthew. By the way, she's seen everything that we've done, everything that I've ever done. And she goes, why are you telling people you're an alcoholic? She's like, why are you telling people you drink? I go, Mom, I would drink. I go, I didn't live with you. You didn't see how I drank. But anyway, so what haven't I not said, Matthew? I mean, I've pretty much said everything. I wear my heart on my sleeve. There's no deep secret. There's nothing that I think I'm pretty much the alcoholism and the drugs and all that stuff. I never thought I would ever tell anybody. I was so good at keeping that a secret. I was so good at hiding all of it that I never thought, and I thought I was so good that I'd never have to expose myself to everybody. But I think once that moment happened, that was the most, what's the word? Not like relief, liberating feeling, because I'm like, what? Go ahead and do it. Besides that, there's nothing really crazy. Nothing crazy that I could sit there and be like, I've been holding on to this for a long time, and here it goes. So that's it. But Matthew, if you guys have another question, Mary, you have something burning on your mind, go ahead.
Nothing. I don't have any other questions. I was just going to say that it was a pleasure meeting you and that I had a really great time getting to know you and hearing you, what you say. And I really commend you for just taking that stance about the haters and how that you just wish that they had, like a lot of love instead of hating, because I feel like the world can be filled with that. So the fact that you are taking that stance, especially a person like you that is in the industry where it's so easy to get like lost in that, I really commend you. And I think it's pretty amazing. So
thank you. And I appreciate it. And what a great quote when you guys are talking about the 18-year-old self. Guys, my dream, everything was, I wanted to be a star, a movie star. And a lot of people don't know this. Like my acting skills, my dramatic act, that's my favorite. Man, you want to talk about something that nobody knows? Here you go. I love drama. Like comedy to me came like kind of by accident because I drove by a comedy club. But bro, my serious acting chops, that's my love. That's my passion. But then once I realized Hollywood was what Hollywood was and what you had to do to get to that level. And I'm not saying everybody, a lot of it is relationships with people that are in Hollywood. But yeah, man. Matthew, I didn't think I was going to go here, but I leave the military. I don't know if I told you this story in the last podcast. I leave the military. My mom's she's like, Vinny, why? Because I was doing so well in the military. She goes, you're going to go to Hollywood. There's just drugs and gays. She was right. By the way, she was right. And my cousin Michael David, who's the reason I left the military, he called me. By the way, he just texted me while I was on this podcast, and he goes, Vinny, move at it. And the Assyrian guys, what are you doing? He goes, you have to come, stay in my back room. Just come here. He's like, you're so talented. Military, like, just get out, bro. 9/11, all that. He's like, get out. So he was one of the main reasons that I left and came here. But yeah, I started taking acting classes, drama. And I freaking fell in absolute love with it, guys. Like I was I went to this acting class. I spent a lot of money on it. I got my acting chops up, but look at how Hollywood works. The acting coach goes, hey, you need headshots. Here's the card. Go get your headshots at this place. The guy, it's almost as like it's a cult. Look how they work. I go to get the headshots. The guy takes my headshots. He goes, oh, I have an agent. You should go see this agent. This is my first meeting with an agent. I bring my headshots. I bring my resume. I go in there. I'll never forget. His office was in his house. Okay. And if I had to assume I'm going to go on a limb and say he was drugs and gays. He was a gay guy. I sit there, by the way, a well-known agent. Okay. And Matthew, Mary, he's sitting there looking at my thing and he goes, hey, resume, not that much. You just left the military. You didn't go to school for acting, but you went to this class, which is reputable. But you know what? I need to see, if I'm going to represent you, I need to see what you're working with. Can you take your shirt off just really quick? The moment that happened, I just hear my mom laughing. Drugs, gays. I told you. She's laughing in my head. And guys, a chill came over my body and I felt like rage building. And I looked at him. I go, what the F did you just say? He goes, like what? I just want to, And I go, I go, bro, did you see my resume? I go, I'm a soldier. I will kill you. And I will, like, Matthew, I go, you, and I grab my stuff and I'm leaving. And I do feel like that moment, my reputation started already. Because they're like, by the way, he's aggressive. He's not down to, take off his shirt. Because, bro, think about this, guys. If I was a weak person and wanted to just make it, my shirt's off, I'm doing sexual favors, and then guess what? They don't give you the career. They don't do nothing with you. And that was my first experience, bro. And then ever since that, my drama acting, like, passion went down here. And then I went by a comedy club, and I was like, I've always watched George Carlin and all these comedians. So, yeah, that got a really, really bad taste in my mouth right off the jump. So that's one of Matthew, to answer the question of what I've never told anybody. I don't think I've ever told that story.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, no, it's a reason they call it Holly Weird, and I don't think you'd be tight with P. Diddy either.
No, not at all. Not at all. Did you have one more, Matthew? You had one more question?
Who's Vincent Oshana in the next 5 years?
Wow, Vincent Oshana in the next 5 years. I think Vincent Oshana in the next 5 years is going to get to a level where he'll be a household name. I think Vincent is going to make some moves where are going to make people be like, wait, like, where did this guy come from? Where, like, nobody, because if you think about it, Matthew, people know me from the PBD podcast. When I tell people I'm a comedian, like, I go on the road a lot on the weekends, people are like, I never, like, oh my God, I thought you were just a podcaster. So, crazy how the world works, but I want people to see me on a Netflix special, doing my stand-up. And by the way, for the Suraya, the Assyrians that have been seeing me, I've been doing a lot of Assyrian shows, bro. Not the dirty, crazy, deaf comedy jam, Vinny, but like talking about our culture and how our dancing and our upbringing, and it's our grandmothers, and it's a whole different beast. So I want to do something for just Assyrians. Then I want to do one mainstream. And bro, Valuetainments, we're expanding, bro. We're gonna be producing freaking movies. So I want to be producing, writing, and acting in some pretty big movies, bro. Because woke culture, Disney losing billions, people are tired of that stuff, bro. And I think we want to have a message. We want movies that make people feel good at the same token. Not all that crazy CGI nuts, like wild stuff that's just like an eye orgasm. We want real stories. We want to inspire people and want to let people know that at the end of the day, bro, this is the greatest country in the history of the world, and you could do anything and you could do everything, and you're not a victim. That's the message that we want to give out. And Valuetainment, think about value. We want to give value, and we entertain. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's me in the next 5 years. And hopefully there's a couple of little Vinnies running around, maybe two. Listen, my family has a history of twins.
That's where I wanted to go. I wanted to ask you, and I was being a little sensitive to it.
Don't worry about it.
I was being a little sensitive to it, and I wanted to say, are you planning to be a dad? Because you're gonna make a great father. I told you this one day.
That's, bro. My mom instilled in us. I mean, she doesn't like animals, but there's something about children and animals that are just drawn. Like, I don't care where we are. I just have a connection. Like, I can't tell you how many times people have been like, oh my God, like, my dog hates everybody but loves me. And with Pat's kids, with my nieces, with my nephews, I speak their language. Like, there's being childish and childlike. I'm childlike. I have that love that we've been talking about, guys, that I just have it, and I think they see it. You notice that, like, children, brother, because they're so pure, they're not corrupted by the world yet. They can see somebody, I believe, and they can be like, I like that person. They'll smile back at you. They'll engage with you. Even though initially, kids will give you that look like you're like, hi, and they'll give you that, like, that mean mug. I think they're trying to figure you out, but I could break that. I break that little wall. But yeah, it's I have some stuff in the works to have because I mean, like you said, bro, I think, Pat talked about this today. Just to become a man. I mean, I'm a man. I served. I do a bunch of stuff. I make money. I do all that stuff, but you have to have responsibility. Besides, I'm responsible, my mom and all that stuff, but having a family, being responsible for other human beings. Matthew, I'm preaching to the choir. That's where you advance to the next level. So, and again, all in God's will. I pray every day, and I tell God, whatever, I'm being intentional, but at the same time, Matthew, whatever he wants, wherever he's guiding me, that's where I'm going to go. And hopefully that right, the right female, boom, hits. And then, by the way, mind you, I'm 46, guys. That conversation where I'm like, listen, dates, schmates, we don't got time. We gotta pull the trigger. I go, Matthew's already 2 ahead of me.
Yeah.
Like, let's go.
So my brother had his one when you met us, and now they're expecting a second. So yeah, you got to get caught up, brother.
Yeah, what do you like? Oh man, I'm 4 behind. Well, you know what, Matthew? My luck, because my brother had twins. He had a boy and a girl, twins, Remy and Ramsey. Mine, I have a feeling mine's gonna be either twins or triplets. Just get it out of the way.
Get out of the way in one shot.
Let's go. Yeah.
And then close down the factory after that.
That's it. I'm done.
On a side note, I taught Marianne how to dance Techiga. I showed her at a cottage one day.
Are you serious?
Yes. And her husband is like a brother to me. He's one of us. And I showed them how to do it. And they were kind of laughing at first, but that's an intimidating dance, man. Like, Techiga is like serious.
Yeah, it's serious, bro.
It is serious, but my son, don't you remember my kids? They loved it. They were getting right into it.
Yeah.
It was actually really good.
Well, I just want to say, Matthew, Mary, thank you guys for having me. These are great conversation. I appreciate both of you. I hope you guys, hope all the people that are watching, all the Assyrians, all the non-Assyrians, everybody, just whatever you take away from this, just know that at the end of the day, it's just love. That's all. It's the simplest 4-letter simple word. That's the one thing that I always tell everybody is just love. Love is always going to win, no matter what happens. So that's it.
Thank you, brother. And guys, conversations like this, I agree with Vincent. I agree with Patrick. They're more important than ever. We need to have open dialogue. And if this kind of story inspired you, or you really like it, share it with somebody. You don't know what they're going through and what they're battling, and how this story, Vincent's story, can actually help them out of where they are now and take them to where God sees their potential and who they're going to be in the future. So like this video, comment, smash that subscribe button, and we got more conversations on the way.